Hey everybody, it's Lucas, and welcome to this week's episode of Pine Pals Podcast. As always, I am here with...
Nate, that's
Nate.
me.
That
Nate.
is, yeah, see, eventually I'll get the hang of it, of making sure I introduce you every week.
You didn't forget me this time. I'm
No,
so
it's 2 weeks in a
happy.
row for me. It's 2 weeks in a row.
Streak right there.
I mean, I could get worse. I could get worse.
That's true. Could just forget I'm here the entire podcast and just talk about the beer yourself.
I could do that. And then, I won't have somebody interrupting me talking about stealing pint glasses from breweries.
Fair enough. You won't have somebody asking you questions like, who is this dumbass?
Well, no, there are some times that your questions are spot on and needed. And it's, that's why you're here, Nate, to ask questions. All right, so this week's episode is another episode that I was very excited to do. We are going to be covering a selection of beers from Wolf's Ridge Brewing here in Columbus. I decided to reach out to this brewery because they had some recent success at the Great American Beer Festival. They brought home a couple of medals.
What is the Great American Beer Festival? Can you explain that to me?
So,
I had no idea it happened or was a thing.
So the Great American Beer Festival, I'm sure it was very different this year because of COVID, is this beer festival in, I believe, Colorado, I think in Denver, and a bunch of craft breweries nationwide submit beers, and they are judged for the type of beer that they are and what category they belong in. And so I think this is honestly, it's a good segue into our first beer, which is Daybreak. It is their coffee vanilla cream ale. And it says here on the can that it is light-bodied, brilliant clarity, and iced coffee. So that right there already intrigues me. But this beer right here is the beer that won, it says on the can, in 2019 it won silver in the coffee beer category. This year it won gold in the coffee beer category. So, yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, congrats to that.
I love coffee.
Reppin'.
So it's like you have your own category for like coffee beer? Is that...
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have it here because I wanted to make sure that I had it correct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it says there. Okay, I didn't read the fine print here. It says, coffee beer. Silver, so that was gold. Cool. Well, I'm already excited for this. Maybe it'll help me wake up a little bit more here,
I am also very excited.
I did want to say, when I was looking at all the cans for Wolf Ridge, one thing I really like about their cans is how well they display all the information on it. So I like that, it's got the style, it's got the profile, it's got the alcohol, IBU, and the amount all in just one spot. I don't have to go around looking on the beer for the fine print to find my ABV or anything. Everything's just right there, which I really like about it. I feel like we've had a Wolf Ridge before, right?
The first beer that we ever did on the podcast was the Citrus Surf IPA from them.
Okay, because I vaguely remember talking about their cans, how they
with the
topography. They all have that
topography.
Yeah, which I'm guessing is if Wolf Ridge, if that's a real place. I'm assuming it's a real place.
Well, it's a real brewery.
Oh yeah, we know it's a real brewery. Duh. I just meant like Wolf Ridge in general. That sounds like an actual like a park or something like a. So I don't know. Wow, not the color I was expecting when I think of coffee. So it caught me off guard a little bit here.
It definitely has. I just poured it as well, and it is carbonated.
Ooh, but I can smell the coffee.
Yeah, I can smell the coffee. I was just gonna say that the head isn't going anywhere. I appreciate that. And wow, that definitely does smell like coffee. I will say this, cream ales are usually not a style that I go to. But
what defines a cream ale?
So again, Nate, I'm catching on to you because I want to make sure that when you ask me these questions, I have it right here. A cream ale is a style of American beer which is light in color and is well attenuated. Don't know what that is. It was first crafted in the mid-1800s at various breweries in the United States. Cream ale remained a very localized form with different styles until the 20th century. I will say this: I've been to a few breweries, and their cream ales. Again, this isn't a style that I normally go for, but I've only had like regular cream ales, and they seem to have kind of like a corny taste to them, and I don't like that at
Okay.
all.
Is it
But
weird that when I think of cream ale, I think of cream soda? So I have this in my mind that I'm gonna drink cream soda.
that
Is that weird?
no, no, especially with how this smells. I mean,
I know, like the smell and then just the sound of it. Not what I'm
so
expecting is gonna happen, but I know, my mind's gonna change. I know it's not what I'm gonna get, but
are you ready
I'm excited for this coffee smell.
for the first sip?
Yeah, let's go. First sip here.
All
Let's do it.
right. I am definitely getting that coffee taste.
Yes. Honestly, that's all I'm getting.
That is light,
Which
yet
is
pleasant sweetness from that vanilla, and just coffee.
it's definitely got the light bodied that it said.
Oh,
Definitely got the light
definitely.
bodied. It is very light.
Oh man, I could have a bunch of those. Honestly,
Really?
this is yeah, oh yeah, this is a beer that I would have on a day like today. Sunday, I don't work tomorrow. So, this is what I would call a brunch beer. I would wake up, sleep in, and then, you don't have any plans that day, have a few beers in the morning. Nothing wrong with day drinking, I'll say that.
I don't think you read the back of the can here, but they've got a little quip here. Confusing to the senses is the best way possible. Daybreak's clarity and golden color belly the smooth coffee presence inside. Brewed with local one-line coffees, rotating house roast, and the finest vanilla beans. Oh, you know what? One-line coffee.
Is
We
that
were
a
just
is that a Columbus thing?
yeah. It's on High Street. High Street. I want to say it's High Street. Yeah, yeah. Abby and I both went there because we actually went to Locke's Bagels to get some lox in the morning, and we decided to get some coffee. We went across the street, and I'm almost positive it was One Line Coffee that we went to, but I'm gonna double check it just to be sure. But yeah, that's interesting. I love it. I love to see when they work with local places, just
Local
like
collabs?
who was it? Yeah, just like when we did like with Land Grant, they have all those local for their
Oh, yeah.
anniversary stuff.
Their
They have
anniversary
local
pack,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish that they
Um,
made that Ohio, the coffee donut brown ale.
mhm.
I wish that was out. 6 packs.
Yep. This is the place. So it was really really cool. Of course, it was during COVID time, so they had all the tables and everything out. But like right in the set, it's just a small little coffee shop, and right in the center, they've got like you can walk around the whole entire barista station. But it's really cool. It's got a nice rustic feel to it. Nice little coffee shop. So, uh, yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking it.
Oh, yeah. This is now. Do you,
You're very right about the whole brunch thing,
mhm.
or breakfast beer. You got that down for sure.
do you now, in your own personal opinion, would you give this beer a gold medal?
See, now that's where my question is. So, when it comes to, I don't know how the awards happen, but coffee beer, we've tried a bunch of coffee beers, but they're not all ales. They're all different types of um, beers. So, are they all still in the same category just because they have coffee?
If they got some, I don't know. That's a fair point, but
So like my question, I guess, for you is like, do you want me to compare it to the other coffees that we've had?
yeah, why not?
Is that a better? Okay. Um, I feel like the coffees we've had before have definitely been a lot thicker because we've tried a coffee stout, right?
That was a hot cocoa
I can't remember
stout.
the other coffees we had. What's hot coffee stout? What other coffees ones did we try then?
The Land Grant one.
I'm trying to think. Pakistan. It was the Land Grant one. Okay.
I can't think of
Well,
other ones.
okay. Yeah, honestly, I can't go back to like all the other ones that we've done before. But if I were just this one itself, um, I think you're right on the fact that you could definitely just drink a bunch of these, especially with like a breakfast, a little day drinking. Um,
I think the name fits it
I would
well.
give it a gold medal. I don't want to jump the gun with saying gold medal just because I haven't had a bunch of other stuff to compare it to, but like I could definitely see why it would be a gold medal.
Yeah, I can definitely
Got
see why this.
great aftertaste. I mean, it goes down smooth, um, and you just get coffee. I don't really taste like any kind of hoppy taste, any that kind of stuff. So,
How much of the beer do you have
would
left?
you get hoppy? Would you ever get a hoppy taste in an ale? Is that
All right, well, I
do ales
mean,
usually have a
India
hop
Pale
taste?
Ale.
Or oh, okay.
This is just a different type of ale. See, your beer doesn't look like it has any head left.
Yeah, I noticed that on yours. Yours still has a
Mine's
bunch, and
yeah. I this is great. I'm glad we started with this one. I've had a bunch. I've had a bunch of their beers, and I don't think I've ever had one that's been like, I don't want to have another one type thing. They did just come out
if you
with
compare this with a breakfast food, what would you pair it with?
what would I pair? Oh man, I would pair
Breakfast
this
food.
with candied bacon.
Candied bacon.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
Or
I'm gonna go with a I was gonna go with more like an omelet for me. I'd say more. I'd pair it with an omelet,
okay,
a nice meat omelet.
I would
Yeah, I would go with that.
honestly, I would also pair this with oatmeal.
You got some interesting breakfast choices.
I I I usually don't.
I guess I don't eat oatmeal a lot, so I guess that's it.
I don't
You
eat
usually don't
oatmeal
eat
a lot.
breakfast. Yeah,
I would just
that's
no. I definitely eat breakfast. I have a
is
large
it.
breakfast. I usually don't have a large. I usually don't eat a lot at lunch. I kind of snack at lunch, and then I have a
See, I'm
large
the
dinner.
opposite way. Yeah, I'm never usually hungry in the morning, and
Well, you
by noon is when I snack and eat my food.
well, you're up at the ass crack of dawn, so
Yeah, so just just from the initial smell, as you're going to take the drink, you get a quick
hmm.
coffee smell, which is great. Goes down really smooth and leaves you with that after coffee taste. Yeah, I'm ready to give this one a rating.
Yeah, yeah, and like always, we are still using our Nate. How do you want to say it? Because I'd rather have the people yell at you than yell at me.
Yeah, I'll go for it. So according to so our rating scale here on the Pine Pals is post is I believe the way you say it. As we did a lot of research before and listened to a lot of different sayings of it, post seems to be the best way to say it, which is Prost in German means cheers. Um, and we have a different meaning for each letter of Prost. So with P, it would be probably won't drink again. With R, it would be regrettable. And so P is our lowest setting, as our lowest rating. And then the middle would be optimistic. S is satisfactory. And then T is terrific. So, how would you rate it on our post scale?
How would I rate it?
Yeah.
T. This is probably my favorite cream ale I've ever had, and again, that's coming from somebody who said right before we started this that I don't usually go for cream ales, but this is definitely the best one that I've had, and I'm glad that. I mean, Daybreak you can find in your local grocery stores. I know I sell it at Giant Eagle. I've seen it at Kroger. I mean, this one's very easy to get your hands on.
This one's a very popular one you could find at almost
Hmm.
any location. That's good. That's good because I'm also gonna give it a T as well. This is delicious. There's all around the smell and the taste both complement that coffie. I'm
What
left with
was
the
this
coffee
saying
taste afterward.
from Parks and Rec? It was about breakfast food. It's like, oh, why don't people eat breakfast food all the time, and then Ron would say, Leslie, it's because people are
Oh,
stupid.
because
I mean,
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the direct quote, but
this is a breakfast beer. Honestly, I would.
hmm
This is definitely day drinking for me.
for sure, for sure. I mean, it doesn't feel heavy in my stomach. It's just got a
Not at all.
nice
What's the
nice
ABV on
flow.
this thing? 5%. Man, this is
Yeah,
it goes down
that's a good
nice and
that's a
smooth.
good level.
And I think they were right when it said that it tasted like iced coffee. I'm definitely getting a strong like black iced coffee flavor, and I like it a lot.
hmm
You know, we went there once, right? You know that we went to Wolf's Ridge.
Yes. Is that after the hockey game?
It was after the Blue Jackets game. Was it?
Yep. Yep.
Was
I
it the one
remember
I won
walking.
tickets to, or
That I can't no because well
no?
yeah
I
yeah
don't
yeah
know.
it might have been but yeah. All right. Well, you want to move on to the next beer? Oh,
All right, and moving on with our second beer of the night. It is one of Wolf's Ridge seasonal releases for, I guess, start of winter, even though it's still fall, technically. Like, this is one of their holiday beers, I'll say. And Nate, I'm very surprised that you didn't look at the bottom of the cans.
you know what? When I was talking about how much I liked for the first one, how much I liked just Wolf Ridge in general and how they put all their stuff on the front, I was thinking, I got to check the bottom of it. And hold on, I'm gonna go back to the other one here because I do need to check the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it says El Progreso
Oh, that's what it says on yours?
on the Daybreak one. Yeah.
Oh,
What did yours say?
on mine it says use your voice and vote.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so I can definitely get behind that. And
Yeah, no, mine was canned in August and said El Progreso.
Hmm.
But so for this one here, the seasonal one here, it says Bell Snickle Bell Snickle is here.
I don't know what that means.
Snickle is here. That sounds familiar. That sounds really familiar. I'll look that up real quick.
And there is something I do want to say. I would like to apologize to everybody, any of the video, uh, anybody watching this on YouTube. It is No Shave November, so this scraggliness is something that people are going to have to deal with until December 1st when it gets all shaved off. So it looks real gross because I can't grow a beard.
Bell Snickle is from The Office. That's the Dwight. That's the Dwight Christmas.
Oh, the
I
one
was like, man, that sounds really familiar. I didn't want to say it was The Office because I didn't want to be wrong and it'd be
The,
awkward. But yeah, I was like the Bell Snickle. That's right.
the German
That's funny.
folklore or whatever, where he steals the kids or something like that if they're bad.
My God, I love it. Oh.
But anyway, back to Impish or Admirable. It's a winter lager, and it says smooth toffee and pumpernickel from my sales rep from Wolf's Ridge, Ethan. He told me that this beer is supposed to taste like pumpernickel bread, and that is very interesting to me. So,
It is because I'm not a big fan of pumpernickel bread, so it'll be interesting.
well, you better be a
Yes,
fan right
Sam.
now.
Better get it real quick. Do you want me to read the little quote they have?
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, and I'm gonna pour this.
So it is inspired by the myth of Belschnickel. Our pumpernickel lager is the perfect treat on a cold winter night, smooth yet warming, with the hints of warm, dark bread and rye. Are you impish or admirable? This lager is easy drinking, but just strong enough to beg the question: cheer or fear? Impish indeed. I like that. That's funny.
Now that you said that it was from The Office, I remember him dressing up like Belschnickel and going, impish?
Yes. All right, let me open this here.
Now that is a winter lager.
Like a little Oktoberfest can there too? Or
Oh, this
glass?
is, yeah, it is the Finley Oktoberfest mug from about 3 years ago.
So Don't know how I feel about the smell.
I'm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that smell is. Is that toffee? It said toffee on the can. Maybe that's just why I'm smelling it, but
That could be what it is.
it's kind of it is giving off a sweetness. I'll say that. But I love that color. This is what my beers look like that I drink. As soon as the first snowfall hits, this is the color that I drink.
They like that you can still see through it. It's not just pitch black. Um, not biggest on the smell. It's giving me some. I don't know. I'm just getting some kind of weird vibe from it. But you ready to just go ahead and take a sip out
Oh,
of this?
absolutely. I like pumpernickel bread, so. That's very different.
Tastes bread.
Yeah, it's very bready. I'm getting that. I don't think I've ever had a beer like this before. This is definitely something I would have on a winter's night.
I'm not too sure about this one. I don't can't place it yet. Aftertaste is okay. Not disappointed in that, but
No,
the smell's really getting me.
this beer is very unique. Maybe that's why I like it so much.
Oh yeah. It's definitely got uniqueness to it.
Huh.
Smooth, toffee.
It's definitely smooth. It does drink like a lager, I'll say that. 6%. Okay. ABV. Yeah.
I think my problem with it is I can't pin my taste buds on any kind of like particular flavor in there. Afterwards, I get a really bready taste, but initially, I'm not getting like any like before. I could taste the coffee. You know, on other beers, like you can taste this right away, but here everything just I don't know. I'm not getting any kind of like initial taste of something.
Are you getting the pumpernickel? Because I'm definitely getting that, like... I wouldn't say that it tastes like fresh baked pumpernickel, but it's kind of leaving that almost like a dry taste that pumpernickel has. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This is probably one of the most unique beers that we've had on the show yet. And that's, coming from last episode where we had a sour Spittles beer.
Yeah. I mean, from those aside, yes, I would definitely agree with that. This is interesting. I don't think it's really down my alley.
Do you think you're ready?
I know before I said like I don't like pumpernickel, and I tried to kind of like leave that out of there, but I don't even think it's the fact I don't think it's the fact I don't like pumpernickel. I just don't think I'm really getting like a distinct flavor or taste from this, except for afterwards where I get that kind of that bready taste. But so I don't know what I think about the smell. I don't.
I enjoy it quite a bit. How many of these do you think you would have in at a time? I don't know. I'd probably do one. I'd probably have one.
Yeah, it would have to be a 1 for me if I were to drink. Yeah, I would say I'd probably just drink one of these in one sitting. It might go a little better with a meal, maybe.
What would you pair with this though?
I don't know what pair it with. I don't know what I'd pair with it. That's the thing. Like I
Like
can't think of what I would pair it with. I mean,
a breaded pork chop.
pumpernickel bread, maybe some spinach dip. I could pair.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I
Maybe
would
put
pair this
spinach dip on
with pork chops.
pumpernickel.
Some
That came out of nowhere. I was not expecting pork chops to be your answer.
I don't know, like this
I'd
is
pair it with asparagus. I wasn't expecting that. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know what I'd pair this with, man. But and again, I'd only have one, and I'm not vibing with it too much.
okay. That's fair.
I do agree with you that it is very unique.
It is, yeah.
But
This is a beer I would definitely recommend
I'm
people
not able to
trying.
really...
All right, are you ready to give it a rating on our post system?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and go first?
I think I would give it a very high O. A very high O. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's.
I'm gonna. You got more? You want to add more?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe this beer, and that's not a bad thing at all. I mean, this is definitely one of the most unique beers I've had. It has that dry, bready characteristic to it, and I actually like that because I do enjoy the pumpernickel and all. I don't know if it's just, suggestive marketing or whatever, but I'm getting that dry, bready, like flavor, and I like it quite a bit. But I mean, just because it has that dry flavor, I don't know if I'd be able to have like.
It said hints of warm, dark bread and rye. That's probably what you're
Yeah.
getting there then.
Yeah. And I do enjoy, I've had other rye beers before and stuff like that. And I have enjoyed those, but this is probably your first dark lager, right?
Lagers used to be the things I like to drink most when I first started drinking beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna sound weird because I like Boston Lager was like one of the first lagers I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the first few. Here we go. Here's a look. Here's a
Oh,
look.
I didn't give a look. I didn't give a look. Didn't give a noise.
And like, I mean, well, because for my 21st birthday, Abby took me to Boston, and Sam Adams Brewery was the very first brewery that I had ever gone into, and explored and gotten to experience the world of craft beer. So
Did you go to Cheers?
We went to no, but we went to Doyle's, which is it's cool because after the brewery tour, they have a little trolley that takes you all the way over to this place, and you get a free glass, and like their lobster rolls are massive, and so good.
I love Boston. That's a fun city.
If you ever go on the Sam Adams tour, make sure you definitely take the trolley to O'Doyle's, because Doyle's, I think it's just Doyle's, yeah. So definitely worth it. But yeah. Anyway, so that was one of the very first things I had, and lagers were like the really only thing I really knew. Initially, besides like obviously those domestic beers. I can't think if I've ever had a dark lager. I don't think I've ever had a dark lager. Most of them have been light.
I know I've never brought any to any of our get-togethers, so.
Well, my rating here, I'm gonna go with an R. I'm gonna go with R.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, you think that's higher than you were expecting or lower?
That's lower. I thought you were gonna give it an O.
No, I'm not vibing with the smell of it.
Is this the first R?
Isn't too bad. Since I've had low beers before, but since we've used our scale, it might be the first R.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I got a fun story to do after this.
I also have a story for this podcast.
All right, but yeah, so R I gotta say is what I'm gonna go with. I just because I can't really pick out any flavors in it, and then maybe I just haven't had enough toffee or pumpernickel to really know those distinct flavors, and so that might be on me. But To me, it's just that's my problem is I don't think there's enough distinct flavors for me to be able to pick them out and be like, oh yeah, I taste that, and that's what I was looking for here. To me, it feels like I'm just drinking a lager that's supposed to have these things, but I just don't taste it.
Okay, that's fair.
But so what I wanted to say is, last week was Abby's birthday, and I took them to, where was it? It was in Logan. It was the winery down in Logan, Ohio. Hocking Hills Winery.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a bunch of their wines. We got like the flight of wines, and we had like a list of them that we could write on. And as we were tasting them, I was going through and using our post system as a way to rate them. So I was putting like a P, an R, an O, an S, a T, on like all. I think we tried like 8 to 10 different wines on there. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. I was using that for the wines as well, and it actually worked really well because I did have some P's for the wine. Just wasn't a fan of them because they were too dry. But yeah, it's a good application. I'm really liking our new system here of rating
I'm glad I came up with it. It was
alcohol.
all my idea. I'll take 100% credit for it.
You honestly, you could have gotten by with that for a second here because I forgot. So. I would say we were equal in coming up with it. I'll give you some credit for it.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll take
Give you
it.
some credit for it.
All right, are you ready to move on to the next one?
Well, yeah, let's move on to our next beer.
All right.
All right, so for our next beer, this is I'm gonna try my best here with the German. All right, so it's Feuer und Wasser, which we looked up means fire and water, which I think is pretty cool.
I'll let you say all the tough words.
You're gonna make me say all the tough words. Yeah, I know. He's making me do all the German words, and then I'm gonna get yelled at because Anyway, the style is a smoked Helles.
Yep, you're good.
Helles lager.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, I got that. Nice. It's a 4.8 ABV. 18 IBU, and it's let's read the little label here. It says, during this period of uncertainty and fear, we're striving to persevere. Try to persevere. We package this beer for the vitality of our independent business, for our staff, and for our Columbus community. Stay safe. We can't wait to see you for a beer on the other side of this. That's pretty cool. So it's a COVID release in a way.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic release, I guess is a better way to say it.
That's
pretty cool. I like that.
So a Helles lager, the Helles means like pale or light in color. It is a German, so it's a German style that means pale or light in color lager. So.
Well, it's interesting. If it's smoked, I always imagine it being a little bit darker. So.
It might be. I don't know. It might have, but no. That other smoked lager that we had,
or is that light in taste, or what do you mean by
light in look?
Light, like
the
look. Okay.
That it's going to be like a golden color. But we had that other smoked lager on here, and that wasn't dark.
Huh.
So.
I guess good point. Well, this says this is part of their persistent series. So is there? Have you had any of the other stuff from this series?
I don't think I've had any.
These were, I was just looking.
Yeah,
but
I mean maybe it's just something that they did due to COVID.
During COVID.
Because I mean this label is even different than the other labels, so it's more of like the sticker type than the plastic wrap that was on the other cans. So
I did notice that. Yeah, the other ones had that plastic thing to it. Yeah.
I will say this, that I just looked at the bottom of the can and I lost it when we were switching over to this beer. It says, "Das ist gut."
I want to read mine here in a sec. I have to go ahead and pour mine here because I already opened mine.
Oh, you're fine. When I went to go pick this beer up, I was told that this is the little sister of their other beer that they had win a medal during the Great American Beer Festival. Their beer that won it that won a bronze medal was, I hope I'm saying this right, the Buchenrau, and it won a bronze in the smoked beer category. So if this is the little sister of it, I'm sure it's quite good as well.
Was that a seasonal one? The one that got the bronze? So I'm guessing we wouldn't be able to.
I believe it was a seasonal. I remember, I think I saw it when I went to the Perfect Pour Beverage Company in Dublin. I might have seen it there. I think that's the only place I've seen it, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up.
Well, so I've already opened mine and poured mine here, and I gotta tell you, it smells good.
It definitely is light in color.
Smell is very good. You can definitely smell that smoked sense. I get like a.
Oh, you are right. It's
roast. Yeah. I get like a roast sense to it. It's really good.
I'm getting like a ham scent off of it.
Yeah.
Like a smoked ham.
Yeah, like a smoked ham. Mm-hmm.
That is delicious.
I know.
Man, I'm really upset with myself that I didn't pick up their smoked beer. The Buchenrau. Man, I wish I tasted that. So, I have a story about something that happened to me at work today. Not today. This was a while ago, but I'm trying to save as many stories as I can for the podcast. So, Nate, can you remind me what my life ambition is to do in the craft beer world?
Well, your ambition?
Yeah.
Isn't it to own your own brewery?
Correct. I love the craft beer world. I love being in the scene somewhat. I love going to different breweries, trying every beer. I think craft beer is fun. I think it's exciting. And honestly, I consider it to be somewhat of an art form, just because of.
Oh, craft beer? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100% an art form. Yeah.
I dealt with a customer at work, and I was like, I could walk away from the beer scene right now and not feel bad about it if I ever have to deal with this customer again.
Wow.
For those of you that don't know, I work at a grocery store as a beer and wine lead. I have one customer that drives me up a wall.
Is it a frequent customer?
This is a frequent customer, but I'll tell you about this. So, since we live in Columbus, just the amount of people that live in this city, you would think that maybe I'd have more than one problem with certain customers. There is one customer that I have a problem with, and every time she comes in, she asks me for a semi-sweet red wine. And I recommend a wine this week, and she goes, "No, it's terrible. The wine that I had, it was a Merlot." And I was like, "Well, if it's a Merlot, it's not going to be sweet at all." And she's like, "No, it was sweet. You know, people need to educate you." And like, she just insults my intelligence when it comes to wine. And to be fair, I am not a connoisseur of wine by any means. I'm not a sommelier by any means of the word. I can hold my own in a conversation just so I can upsell a bottle of wine. But she just insults my intelligence and just goes like, "Oh, I want this semi-sweet wine." And so it has to be under $10, semi-sweet, and above 12% in ABV. You know how impossible that is for me to find? I have just started resorting to, whenever she comes in, walking the other way. It had to be a red wine, semi-sweet red wine. And every time she comes in, I walk the other way because she just drives me up a wall. I recommend, because there's no such thing as a semi-sweet wine. There is a red wine that is sweet and dry. I try to find something in the middle because they don't usually put semi-sweet on the bottle. It's either because Ohio people, they love their sweet wine. Don't get me wrong, I love my sweet wine too,
Oh, I love my sweet wine
but
too.
I personally prefer a dry Spanish red. That is my go-to bottle. But my God, she drives me up a wall, and every time she just picks out a bottle, she goes, "What about this one?" I said, "Oh, that's it. Yeah, you found it." And then she comes back next week and totally forgets any conversation that we had the week before. So she's like, "Well, I was here last week and I was talking to somebody and he didn't really know what he was doing. He didn't know what he was talking
I
about." I'm like,
forgot it was you.
That was me. That was me. You and I have this
You got a very
conversation.
distinct face, so I'm
It is.
surprised that you would not recognize.
I'm
Like,
the only
how
one
do
in the
you
wine
not?
department. I'm a one-man wine department. There's nobody else that she's talking to. Like, I wish she would come in on my days off. Like, oh my God. So the other day, I'm restocking the beer, and guess who walks into the beer section? This woman. And what does she do? She makes me question all of my life choices when it comes to beer. She goes, "I'm looking for a gluten-free beer." And I was like, "Well, I don't really have." "Well, I bought Redbridge here." I was like, "No, you didn't, because I don't sell Redbridge. I don't have any Redbridge." And she goes, "I'm pretty sure I did." And I was like, "Okay, then when did you buy it?" And she goes, "I bought it 2 weeks ago." I said, "No, you didn't, because we don't carry that." And she goes, "Okay, fine, fine, fine." And
Like
then
the guy that does the order.
it's like
doesn't know
I do the
what
orders.
they have.
Like I would know that we ordered Redbridge. And she
Customer's always right, though, right?
the customer is never right. All my years in customer service, the customer is never right. So she goes, "Well, I'm looking for something without wheat in it because my husband has a gluten allergy." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I do have these beers from Wild, Ohio. They're a local brewery, and they make tea beers." And she goes, "Tea beers? Ugh, ugh, ugh." Like it was like I personally insulted her. I was like, "Well, they're good. I just, they taste like a flavored tea." And
You're already looking for a gluten-free beer, so,
right. So
I don't
she
think you
goes,
have much room to.
she starts pointing at random beers on the shelf, going, "Does this beer have a lot of wheat? Does this beer have a lot of wheat? Does this beer have a lot of wheat?" I was like, "They're all gonna have wheat in them." She goes, "Well, they can't all have wheat in them." I was like, yeah, they do."
Oh my God,
And-
you're a real trooper there.
yeah, and
You're
she's
doing,
like, "Well, what
you're
about this one?
doing,
Does it
you're
have a
doing the
lot of
Lord's
wheat?"
work.
I finally gave up. I was like, it doesn't have a lot of wheat, but all of the beers that you were going to point to have wheat in them. So she goes, "Well, I just won't get any beer then," and walked away. And I was like, "Fine. Don't get your husband
Okay.
sick." I offered a solution, and you spat in my face. My God, I have been waiting forever
Well,
to tell that
props to
story.
your patience for that, because
Ugh.
I would have had no patience.
My God, I just was like, I don't want to work in beer. I'm going to become an accountant. Because I don't, I don't want to work in beer anymore because of you, lady.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway.
That's funny. Wow.
So-
Yeah, no, I can see why. I would have lost a lot of faith in my
I
own ambitions after that.
Like, she just insults my intelligence. Like, I'm just a random jerk who doesn't know anything. And I'm like, I'm not a cicerone, but I've had a few beers. Yeah.
But if it makes you feel better, she trusted you to be able to find something, so she knows that you know stuff. Like, at least that's a compliment.
She's gonna go home, come back the next day, and totally forget that we had that conversation.
Yeah.
So
you just need to get a bunch of posters and say has wheat, has wheat, has wheat, has wheat. Just put them on all the everything.
Just for her. My God.
See the sticker right here? It says it has wheat. All right, let's dive into this one because I'm really loving the smell.
Yeah. I'm so glad I got to tell that story. That was like a weight being lifted off my chest.
Get a little rant going out of there.
Oh my God.
All right, yeah, let's go for that first drink.
That is delicious.
That is very delicious. I feel like I did just have like a smoked ham.
That is liquid barbecue.
Yep. Like, I don't know if you had one in your house, but my cousins had a fire heater, or a fire
heater,
like
something to heat fires.
Heater. Yeah, they didn't have like a stove heater. They had like a stove heater for it. I hate you. There it is. But it always gave off this kind of like smoked sense, like a smoked ham kind of sense to it,
Hmm.
and that's what the smell is here. So I'm getting like that kind of same vibe from that. Hmm. That's really good though.
Oh yeah, this is delicious.
Hmm. And it's seasonal.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
know. So,
I know the
well, it's
Impish
definitely
and
it's part of
Admiral
a
was. It was
series. So I mean, wouldn't the series itself just be a limited release
well, unless they
or
get a
limited
really
time?
good, feedback from it. You know.
Good point. I mean, this definitely is something I would only really want to do in a winter time. So
You
or
wouldn't
like
want to pair.
around this fall time. I would say this is a good fall beer.
You wouldn't pair. What would you? What food would you pair this with? Because I'd pair this with
Let me get
ribs.
another sip here, and then let me think.
This is ribs and barbecue sauce for me, or pulled pork sandwich. Any barbecue. I'll just say it. Any barbecue.
Yeah, I go with the pulled pork barbecue sandwich would be really good for this. Definitely, I'm definitely getting more of a pork kind of vibe with it than I am like with turkey or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely a pork, smoked pork. Yeah. Mm. Yes, this is very, very good. So, this is the one that had the sister beer, right?
Yes, this is the little sister beer of the beer that won the bronze medal in the smoked beer category.
Damn, now I really want to try
I
that
really
because
want to try
now I
that
have
one too.
really high expectations. um, because if it's better than this, I can only imagine this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
the best part about it is it's very smooth as well, just like that daybreak. It just goes down very smooth. It's
I I will say this: I
very
haven't had anything from Wolf's Ridge where I didn't want a second one of, and all of these beers so far have knocked it out of the park, and they are very easy drinking beers.
hmm
I
I can agree.
this is I know we spoke about this on a different episode. I know that. I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you were in the middle of something. Sorry.
No. You're good.
But this is basically the true testament of a brewer. Like they are nailing these lagers and cream ales, and if you're able to knock out these, you know, these basics, like I'm very excited for our last beer. I'll say that.
Oh, really, I haven't even looked at the last beer yet. I was gonna wait till we get to it,
Yeah,
but
it is. I mean, if you can knock it out of the park with these.
I know I was talking about how before, like I've had. All right, well, let's go ahead and give this a rating here.
Yeah,
You want to go
definitely.
first?
Uh, hmm. So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this an O. I did enjoy it a lot. No, you know what? I'm gonna give it an S. I'm gonna give it an S. I definitely, honestly, the only thing that's missing from this beer is a plate of ribs. I think.
I'm really interested in that. So, an S, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I got really blindsided when you said O at first. I was like, wow, really? Okay. Um,
No, I like
I'm
this. I
gonna.
like this beer a lot. It's full of flavor and it's just so light.
Mhm.
I it's like it's got that rich, smoky ham flavor to it,
Mhm.
but it's just light. I mean
Gotcha.
4.8% ABV. I could have several of these in an evening and be totally fine and still want more. Uh, but I mean I'm just getting like barbecue vibes from this beer.
All right. So I'm gonna give it a T.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
give it
give
a
it a
T,
T.
okay?
Yeah. I just really like it. It's very smooth. It's definitely got a really good pairing with, barbecue pulled pork. Like I'm actually really hungry for barbecue pulled pork right now because I would love to drink this with it.
Oh, definitely.
Um, it's just, it's something that I haven't had a lot of smoked beers, and this is something that's just really, it's just really sticking out as just delicious. So I'm gonna go with that tea.
All right.
And I would really love to try that, the other one that they were talking about as well. So.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. All right, let's move on to our last beer of the evening.
All right. So this one is, unless you want to introduce, you want me to introduce this one?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So this last one here is a coconut cream pie. All right, interesting. It's part of their Clear Sky series.
Mm-hmm.
The style is a cream ale with toasted coconut and vanilla. And the profile is silky, sweet, and toasted coconut. And again, I just love that they put that profile on there.
I love the skyline of Columbus.
Alcohol ABV. Oh, oh my gosh, I did not even turn the can enough to even see that. All I saw was just this black cover the whole time, even when it was in the fridge. Even when I got it out, at no point did I ever notice that, yes, there is the skyline of Columbus on there, and that's awesome. This one says, we spent hours hand toasting coconut in preparation for this beer. We also add vanilla beans to lend to the perception of the sweetness without all the filling sugar of an actual pie. You will be looking to indulge in a second slice. How about you? Interesting. Now, I'm gonna put a disclosure here, just like the pumpernickel. I'm not the biggest fan of coconut.
You're wrong. But
you're wrong. Wrong. Now, I don't have a problem with coconut. I'm not the biggest fan. I like it more than I did do like pumpernickel. So I'm having a positive mindset going into it. It's just not like, if I were to have any kind of like pie, I would never think of coconut. Like that would be something, the last thing I would ever think of.
I will let you know.
Yeah, let's open this one.
I haven't had this beer, but I had their key lime pie in the series.
I love key lime pie.
It was amazing. It tasted like key lime pie. That's why I'm very excited for this, because I am sure that this is going to taste exactly like coconut cream pie, which is probably going to be bad for you.
Their Clear Sky series, is that their pie series, or is that just...
I think it's like dessert style beers, because they also do like a cherry cordial and stuff like that.
Gotcha. I had a really big head on this one. Oh, I guess yours isn't as bad. Mine was pretty massive on this one. Look at...
I'm not really getting anything on the... oh, shit, yeah. I'm not getting anything on the nose.
I'm going to give a second there for that to bubble out, fizzle out a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it... I definitely love the... watching this carbonation in here go. I mean, that's wild right now. I'm watching that. Yeah, let me give it a second here to cool off a little bit.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
But what are you getting for scents? Are you smelling that coconut?
I'm not really getting anything on the nose.
Really?
Yeah, I know with the key lime, I was definitely getting like a citrusy thing on the nose.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, I feel like a lime is gonna have more of a scent to it than a coconut.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even be able to really tell you what a coconut
smells like.
Is. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. So, I don't know if you can see this right here.
I can. The Ohio State thing. I did see that, and I've been kind of wondering. I thought maybe it was like a quarter thing. You know how the quarters have like different states and stuff. But
yeah, it's kind of similar to that. This is a wooden cutout of the state of Ohio, and that one corner that's blacked out right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is filled in with bottle caps from different Ohio breweries. And cool. The reason I haven't been able to fill this out is because I'm trying to do like one from each different brewery.
Mm-hmm.
But with all these breweries switching to cans,
Really gypped you on that one, didn't
yeah, I
they?
don't know. I don't
Dang.
know. That was a present from Alexis. So
That's a cool. I like that.
yeah, they
I
do
fuck
one
with
with
the bottle caps, but
the company does it with a gigantic like statewide map, and it's got one spot for a bottle cap for each state. So
hmm. Now are the ones that are all from that corner? Are they all from that end of Ohio,
I
or you just
tried.
started filling in?
I
I feel
tried.
it'd be kind of difficult because I feel like in certain parts of Ohio there's just no breweries nearby, but
Yeah, a lot of it is Fatheads and Great Lakes, but I do have some Columbus and Maumee Bay and Listerman,
hmm.
and a lot of those are not from that area. All
Yeah,
right,
so I'm smelling it more, and I'm still I still got quite a big
I'm
quite a
getting
bit of
okay.
head there, but
So
I'm not getting any.
I'm getting something now on it, like like a crust. That's what I'm getting on the nose.
Hmm. Try to smell some from the can, see if I can smell anything, but I'm still not getting much.
And that's fine. I mean, I'm still excited to taste it. Are we ready to go ahead
Oh
with our
yeah,
first
yeah. I
sip?
mean, it'll be different, but yeah. We can go for the first sip here.
Awesome. Because I've been excited for this beer. That is delicious. I know you don't like coconut cream pie, but my God, that tastes like pie.
That aftertaste, yeah,
This
I'm
is
getting nothing but top of the
spot
pie, and
on.
it's very sweet.
I, my God, this is
Mm.
liquid dessert. We just had liquid barbecue. This is liquid dessert.
You got everything here. You got the breakfast, you got the lunch, and then the dessert. I like it. And then I guess pumpernickel, I guess, could be the appetizer.
Sure. But oh my
Um,
God, this is oh. Wolf's Ridge, you have done it again. This is the key lime pie was outstanding. This is right underneath it. The only reason I'm saying it's right underneath key lime pie is because key lime pie is also my favorite. So it is.
it is definitely above my expectations of what I was expecting from this.
No, hands down.
Especially, not being a big fan of it's not being a big fan of coconut, so I definitely.
Are you getting much of the toasted coconut? Because I'm getting way more of just like the dessert crust and like creaminess type thing that would go
I'm
with
getting the
it.
toasty taste. I'm getting the toasty taste.
I am
but
getting that toasty taste as well. But this
But
is.
like I said, I wouldn't be able to really pick out the distinction of coconut
Mm-hmm.
as much, so not much help there. But
This is delicious. Smooth, sweet,
I do like it.
pleasant aftertaste.
Yes, very pleasant aftertaste.
I want more of this. Man. See, this is why I love craft beer, because of stuff like this. We've had 4 very different beers this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Very different.
Very different.
And I mean we started with coffee, we had pumpernickel, and then we had like barbecue, and then we're finishing with coconut cream pie. We just had a 4-course meal. We had a
Pretty
liquid
much,
4-course meal.
Very much so.
I kind of want to mix this with the Daybreak, but I can't do that because I killed the Daybreak.
Mix it.
Yeah. Get that coffee with the coconut. That's just me.
I never.
That's just me.
Is it advised to ever mix beers? Like
I
guess
don't
never
know.
Really...
I've never really done it. I've done beer floats before with ice cream.
Huh. So I still have a little bit of my Daybreak here, and now I'm kind of curious.
Do it.
Do I try it?
Do it. Do it. Do it. Give
Do
into
it?
peer pressure.
All right.
Do it. Do it, Nate.
Let me drink a little bit more of my Daybreak here real quick.
We like
I feel like I just entered a coffee store.
to drink with Nate. Nate is our best mate, and when we drink with Nate, he finishes an 8, 7, 6, 5.
You told me I wasn't allowed to chug beers on this podcast.
Sip fast.
All right, I've got about this much Daybreak left in here. I'll mix in a little bit of this here.
You're a mad scientist.
Expecting this poof of smoke to come out of here. I might need to add a little bit more. Made a mess. Okay, well, you don't get this on most podcasts. Here we are mixing beers.
Do it.
Let's see what happens here. So this is let's give the official name then. It's a iced coffee coconut cream pie.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? All right.
Did it work or did it not?
I'm still getting too much of the Daybreak.
Ah, okay.
There's a little bit of like a hint of the pie at the end. But yeah, I'm still getting too much of the coffee. The coffee is way too distinct. The roast from the coffee is way too distinct. I think it's overdoing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Just very distinctly, just a little bit of the cream pie at the end. So it's more like starting with coffee and then ending with a coconut cream pie.
Mm-hmm. It's dessert. Are you ready to give this a rating?
I feel like I spent so much time waiting for the head to get down on it. Now I feel like I need to explore it a little bit more. But yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
So what are you gonna give for this? You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. Let me take one more sip here. Okay. So I'm gonna go with an S. A little, just a smidge bit higher than the S, but only just because I don't. Maybe I'm just not accustomed to tasting coconut, so I don't really know what it is I'm tasting. But it does taste very sweet. It's got a really good cream pie taste afterwards. Yeah. I think the only reason it didn't make it to a T is because I felt like with the smoked one and the coffee one, I could have plenty of those in one sitting, like at least 4, in one sitting. Whereas this one, I feel like maybe 1 or 2 at the most. And it is a dessert beer, so yeah, obviously it's gonna fill me up a little bit quicker, the sweetness. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna go for that rating. Go with an S, a higher tier S.
This is a T. This is definitely a T. It is
Your first T tonight, right?
Second T. Daybreak was also a T.
Daybreak with a T. That's right. Yep.
This is outstanding. I love their whole pie series of beers that they do, and this is just another home run from Wolf's Ridge. It is definitely has like a crust flavor to it, I'll say that, and it definitely has like that toastiness that a coconut would give. It tastes like liquid coconut cream pie, and I'm really glad that the names on the beer, like the cans, are pretty true. That the beer is pretty true to the label. That's what I mean to say.
Very much so. You guys, in the past we've experienced, especially with like the pumpkin, pumpkin beers. There was a lot of
Yes.
them we didn't get that pumpkin.
Yes.
But these
There was a pumpkin
profiles
beer.
that they've
There was a
labeled
pumpkin
as
beer that you had that you got the pumpkin flavor out of.
yes.
What beer was that?
I am trying to remember.
I have I have I know one beer that you had that had pumpkin flavor in it.
What was it?
It was the one I made.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah,
We got
because
to try Lucas's beer.
you
on
got to try my
Halloween.
first beer on Halloween,
We
and
did.
it was watery as all hell.
It was watery, but like there was definitely the pumpkin spice for sure. And as Fiance was saying, you used all her pumpkin spice
I
for
did.
it.
I did.
So, but yeah, it was. I mean, for being your first endeavor into making your own beer, I think it was a solid start
Thank you.
because it
Thank
had
you.
the flavor. It had the flavor.
I
Now,
plan on
the only
making an
downside of
IPA.
it, yeah, like you said, was the watery.
Yeah, it was a little watered down.
Ooh,
I'll
an
say
IPA?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, my next beer that I plan on making is an IPA, and then after that, I want to make a Christmas cookie stout.
All right. All right. So,
All right, are you ready to move on
go
to
ahead and
the
give our beers.
beers of the night? Good stuff.
Okay. So we'll start with our lowest beer, and I was thinking about this. We should do our fourth, our third, but then so it's kind of like not a spoiler
Suspense.
for the one in first place. I think we should go to the first place. Skip second, go straight to first. What do you think?
Okay.
No?
Yeah. Why not? We'll give it
Okay.
a try.
Okay. Kind of like it's like here's to the final two contestants. Who's gonna be the first place winner? This person. Yeah. But so for number four.
For number 4, which, just a disclosure, all of these beers, these are our own personal opinion, and I'm gonna just say it right now. None of these beers that we have tonight are beers that I would never drink again. I would have all of these beers, and if I ever go to when we're able to go to out in public again, I look forward to having some of these beers on tap at Wolf's Ridge after a Blue Jackets game that we were able to attend, because again, COVID and before times were great, but my God, I don't know the next time we're going to be able to go see a hockey game together.
I miss hockey.
I miss hockey too. But anyway, with my number 4 beer of the night, I'm going to give it to Impish or Admirable. I did enjoy this beer a lot. I gave it I don't think I gave lower than a regular O, right? Because this was my high O. No, I gave it an S.
What's your high O?
I gave it an S.
Was it an S? Okay.
Yeah. All of these beers were in the S to T range for me. But, I mean, just compared to the other stuff that we had, this pumpernickel flavor that was in this beer, compared to iced coffee, smoked ham, or a coconut cream pie, I'm just going to put the pumpernickel last. That's the only reason why I have it in my 4th spot.
All right. I'm also going to go the same as well for 4. This one was an R for me tonight. I just wasn't really connecting with any of the flavors when I was drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just the biggest reason. Just all the other ones tonight, I could really connect and I could taste that profile that they kind of labeled it as. But in terms of the Impish or Admirable, I wasn't really getting the toffee or the pumpernickel, and that might be on my end because I just don't know those flavors enough to really describe them and know if I'm tasting them. So I just think it would be out on my book. So that'd be my number 4. My number 3.
Yeah.
My number 3. Man, I'm gonna go with the coconut cream pie.
Really?
For my number 3. Yeah, it's not because I didn't like it. It's just because I think the other two outshined it a bit more in my book. I did love how smooth it was. I did love the aftertaste. I just think out of the other two that I liked, they were smooth, they had good aftertaste, but I could taste a strong profile for those ones as compared to the coconut cream pie, which again, the profile wasn't as strong for me. Me just coconut myself, not really knowing coconut as well. So, so not that I hated it or anything, just didn't. I think the other two kind of outshined it more.
Okay. For my number 3 spot was the Four und Wasser.
That's one you were gonna give an O at first, but
yeah, and then I bumped it up to an S. This is liquid smoked ham. The only reason it's at 3 because I have a gigantic sweet tooth, and the other ones just mainly they did it for me more than this one did. I'll say that. But again, another fantastic beer, and I regret that I passed up the opportunity to try the big brother to this beer, the one that got the bronze medal at the GABF. Which one day
you mentioned the whole sweet tooth thing. I just feel like maybe that's why I went with this one, because I think after last week's podcast, I think I'm kind of done with like the sweetness for a while. So after those 450 North ones, I'm like, maybe I could hold off on sweet beers for a while. So maybe that's why I'm like, hey, you're third for today. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was gonna say maybe in the after times after COVID, that you and I could make a trip out to Denver for the Great American Beer Festival, because that would be awesome.
That would be super awesome.
That's one of my goals. Things that I want to do once. Just like, well, if I love it, maybe I'll do it more than once. But one time I want to spend New Year's Eve in Times Square, just once, because I know it's gonna be a nightmare. 2, I want to go to Oktoberfest, like the real one in Germany. And 3, go to the Great American Beer Festival.
There are the Great American Beer Festival. Are those? Is that like kind of like Comic-Con San Diego, where you have to like get in a queue to be able to get a ticket, and it's very difficult to get a ticket, or is it really accepting for everybody? Like,
I think
as long as you have money, you can get in.
I don't know. I don't know, but I know that we also have to take into effect
exclusivity, I guess.
Travel to Denver.
Fair enough. Yeah. I just know there's a lot of events out there that are exclusive to how many people can actually go, and
I think it's easier to get in if you're involved in the industry somehow. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Maybe we can get our press badges for that.
Yeah, our press badges. Some of the other craft beer podcasts that I do listen to, I know that they said that they went to the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so with your new thing here, you said you wanted to do 4 and 3, and then leave 1 and 2 as a suspense to do the number 1 and then the 2 spot.
For you, it's between the coconut cream pie and the Daybreak, and for me, it's between the smoked and the coffee. Yes, I think it would be better to go with the first one and then talk about both of them. Obviously,
okay.
We're comparing these two. Obviously, they made it to the top of our list here, so they've got to be really good. So I think to compare them to, I think would be a little bit more interesting there.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Why don't we go at the same time, and then you can talk about yours first.
Okay. Well,
so for our number
one for me. Are we literally going at the same time?
Oh, yeah. Just show. Oh, well, there it is. There's my number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yep, same here.
Daybreak is the same.
This
for both
was
of us. Number 1, Daybreak.
Amazing, delicious. I'm totally behind it getting a gold medal, and I mean, honestly, if this placed silver last year, what took gold? Because I want to know.
I would be interested in trying that and comparing them. Yeah,
and comparing them, because this is a home run beer. This is top 10 of my beers. I'll say that, all-time beers.
Yeah,
top 10 right here.
Yeah, I think Daybreak. I'm a little biased just because I love coffee. I'm a huge iced coffee drinker.
I love coffee as well.
Yeah, so I'm a little biased there, but I truly believe that this was just delicious. Be amazing to have with a breakfast food. If there was a breakfast place out here that also sold this that I could drink with, that would be just
That'd
I'd be
be
going
awesome.
there quite often. um, and to compare it with the smoked one, so the smoked one then would have been my second, and
Hmm.
I I think the smoked one had the same kind of effect where I could drink a lot of it with a meal. And that's what I want to almost say they're kind of similar in a way. Like I felt like they both really embodied what kind of meal I would want to eat or drink them with.
Hmm.
Um, and so it was kind of difficult. So I would have honestly I would have tied them for first, but I think because I like coffee a little bit more, I went with the coffee one there.
And that means my number two of the night was the coconut cream pie. This is just another awesome part in their series, their Clear Sky series. I I was blown away by this beer. I'll say that. Same thing with Daybreak. I just I love dessert beers. I'll say that. I love my sweet tooth, and it's just like this. Just checked every box for me. And I mean, again, another cream ale. Two cream ales took my number two, one and two spots, and Daybreak made it into my top 10 favorite beers. And I don't prefer cream ales. Like if I go to a brewery and they just have a regular cream ale on tap, I'm gonna pass on it because it's just not for me.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I honestly I loved all of these beers that we have tonight, and I'm very excited to have more from Wolf's Ridge. I do plan on our Christmas episode, which hopefully is going to be in the first week of December. But a Christmas beer episode or a holiday beer episode, I do plan on putting their Home for the Holidays beer in our lineup for that night. And if you're in the Columbus area, I highly recommend checking out Wolf's Ridge. They are a fantastic
Now,
bunch of
Wolf
people over there.
Ridge, they originated in Columbus. Like, is this where they
I believe
are
so.
initially from? Okay.
I believe so. I think
Okay.
they're only a one tap room place.
Okay. I was curious. I guess yeah. I guess I mean it does say Columbus. Yeah, packaged and brewed in Columbus, Ohio. So yeah,
I
I would say so.
I highly recommend checking them out if you're in town or the next time that you do come to town. When I went to go pick up the beers there, they have a fantastic. Because of COVID, they have a fantastic outdoor seating area, and everything's social distanced. And I mean, they're really doing it by the book over there, and they're just a fantastic group of people over there, and they're making some really really great beer.
Well, I think that's a good way to lead into our closing here for our first toast.
Yeah,
So I'll
definitely.
let you get that first toast here.
The first toast of the evening I want to give to Wolf's Ridge Brewing. They hooked us up with all of these beers this evening. It was I wasn't expecting it. I don't expect any brewery. I am more than happy, more than willing. But they gave us some beers on the house, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you for some fantastic beer. And I had a ton of fun doing this episode tonight. Here's to you, Wolf's Ridge.
Sure. Post. Cheers.
You,
All right.
you,
So we got any more cheers
oh, do you
for
not
tonight
have
here?
anybody you want to toast?
Yeah, I can give out a cheers here. Um, so this cheers here is to my father-in-law, Rob, who so the wife went back this weekend to visit the family. They had some family coming from out of state, but I was busy. I had other stuff going on, and I kept getting messages from my father-in-law saying, "I miss you. I wish you were to come here." And I do really wish I was, but here I am filling this podcast, and so I do apologize I wasn't able to make it back. But here, this cheer is for you. We appreciate your support and everything
Oh,
that you've been doing
definitely.
for this podcast. So
And
cheers to Rob.
just a heads up to uh, him and everybody else who was wondering. I do plan on finalizing a store of some kind for some Pint Pals podcast merch that will be available for the Christmas season this year. So, thank you.
Here's to that. All right. Do we have any more cheers? We want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up. I'll take this right here because I still have some in this can. Thank you so much to everybody who coming by every week and listening to us ramble on about some craft beer. Thank you so much. I really
Whether
do
you're
appreciate
on Spotify or on YouTube.
Spotify or on YouTube. And eventually this podcast is going to make its way to Apple. So thank you so much, supporters. I appreciate you.
Cheers.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
Hey everyone, thank you for checking out this week's episode of the Pint Pals podcast. If you want to support the podcast in other ways, be sure to check out our Patreon at www.patreon.com/pintpals. If you choose to subscribe monthly, you can receive access to special videos, private Snapchats, discounted merch, as well as being toasted during each episode. And as always, subscribing to our Patreon is always appreciated but never expected. Thank you, we'll see you in the next episode.